Howdy, ladies and gentlemen, cars. Um, so before starting this video, what I want to talk about today, uh, I just want to let you guys know that we lost Charger Saturday. He was 16, and man, his old heart just gave out, and the funeral home finally called us back, and we got Charger. So um, we're waiting on his urn to come in. But I lost my little buddy. It was always in the videos, and you'd always hear him meow, meow in the background. He just always wanted to be with me, always wanted to be with Dad, and it's just going to be a different world without him, guys. Um, I don't know how else to explain it other than, um, yeah, it's just going to be different. Uh, but yeah, we're waiting for his urn. Hopefully, Wednesday or something like that. It'll finally be in. But this is the box they gave us back of Charger. He was cremated with his favorite bed and cremated with his favorite blanket. Um, which is ultimately what he passed away in. Like I said, his old heart just gave out, guys, and I know it's gonna be a different planet, a different world. Doing AHG videos from this day forward. He's been in every one of them for 2.5 years. So, uh, yeah, it's just gonna be different, guys. So I just want to say to all of you, since I don't know if it's Facebook, friends from Facebook or friends from Instagram that follow me here, um, and that's why I also wanted to come on here and talk about it, just in case it wasn't people who follow me on Instagram and, uh, Facebook or from TikTok or whatever, because it doesn't let me know. Um, I had to break the ice. I just wanted to get it out of the way so nobody had any more questions of when Charger's going to be in the next video, because he's right here. So, I just want to let you guys know, man. It's a different world, a different planet for me. Without my little buddy, I'm just glad he's home, though. I'm glad we were able to, pick him up yesterday finally. At least have him home. But yeah, guys. So it's just a different world. So I just wanted you guys to say hi to Charger one last time here. Uh, and just going forward, it's just going to be me instead of me and Charger. Of course, you'll probably see Dinah every once in a while or Mopar. But, they aren't like Charger who love the camera, who love the spotlight. My Charger was my buddy, man. 16 years. He just, cat years, he was almost close to 100, man. So, I just wanted to get that out of the way with you guys. So, I just want to let you guys know that, we lost Charge, man. It's just going to be a different planet. I can't wait for his urn to come in. Like I said, hopefully that'll be next Wednesday. We hope it'll finally be in. Uh, so I want to get this out of the way before we started the party of everything else I wanted to talk about, guys. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for these last 2.5 years of me bringing the business back again for American Heritage Guitars and for my wonderful cat Charger that all you guys started liking to see in all the videos, man. Um, Thank you for all the love you've given him over these years. That cat just had a big heart, man. Um, and it's really gonna be different without him. So sorry, I'm gonna try to get past my crying phase. I've been crying enough since last Saturday. Yesterday I just broke down because, uh, if you lost a family member, right, and you get one of these back, they're in a bigger box. So I think we were kind of just um, surprised that it was small. So yeah, it's gonna be different without the little buddy. But just thank you guys, man. Thank you all so much for the love. Hanging in there. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with all of the the comments coming through here. I've been okay. You know, just when Charger passed away, guys, it just took a big chunk out of my. He took a part of my my soul with him. So I feel like my mojo that I always had in all my videos and being upbeat and just crazy. I got to get used to it. It's a different feeling. Um, Charger kind of helped make all these videos. You know what I mean? Uh, he was just different, you know. And he was always offering up words to all you guys meowing. I think. Um, so there we go. Chargers. One last ride, guys. One last ride. Um, so getting into this, let me get into Alex's box first, and then we'll talk about the giveaway guitar, um, and a bunch of other stuff here for this live video. We'll get to it. But just thank you guys so much for love and support. Like I said, I don't know if people are from my Facebook or my Instagram. Some of you guys, it doesn't really tell me that. Um, but yeah, so Chargers one last ride, guys. We're just waiting on his urn. Um, so I want to do this box from Alex. It's right down here. Let me pop you guys down. It's right there. So I wanted to get into that box. He said he did it on a whim and he did it fast. As a Christmas box. Alex is working on another one of his crazy guitars for me. It'll be after Christmas, obviously, but we'll do a video on that. So Alex is he's calling it the cowboy guitar because typically I'm in my cowboy hat. Most of the time, but most of the time on here I try to remind you guys of the good old CB Giddy. So he's calling it the cowboy guitar, but Alex just got back to me the other day and he put Old Man Charger, wood burned it, Old Man Charger into the guitar. So that was a nice touch. But anyways, he sent a box. He said he did it on a whim. He didn't put a note in it this time. Usually I read notes from Alex when I do my videos. And of course, this is the first live AHG video we're doing live in the moment versus pre-recording and then putting it up for you guys. So I'm going to dive into this box here. I just opened it. I haven't taken a look because if you see most of me in these last 2 years open up boxes from Alex, he loves the tape. He absolutely loves the tape. So all I did was just save a little bit of time and pop it open so I wasn't waiting 10,000 years to do this. So let's dive into it here. Oh, he put one of those on there for me. We're going to make one of these, I'll just burrow out the hole, but one of these are going to be like for my jack covers. That's what we'll probably use it for. Yeah, he just said he threw it together instead of making the guitar and throwing other stuff together. He just wanted me to have something real fast. So we'll just get through that. I'm a huge fan of Avo boxes. So he sent me a nice Avo box. Sorry about the light. You guys are literally like right under the light. But a nice Avo box. I already built one. That guitar is actually up for sale. I guess I can show you guys here in a minute once we get past this. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about in the first live video here. But these boxes are absolutely gorgeous. They make the best. You can do acoustic or you can do an acoustic electric. But either way, these boxes are like the ultimate best to do. I did that, that was 2 years ago. Get past all this bubble wrap. This is another nice box. I've never seen this one before around these parts. It's a very gorgeous box. Ave Maria. Never heard of this one before. Handmade Nicaragua. Woo! Ave Maria, Morning Star. Yeah, these are also good boxes. What else we got in here? Got another Ford hubcap. Make sure I'm getting all your comments down there, guys. But a good old Ford hubby. So I want to do more signature guitars. So this one, we'll probably cut this one a little bit, probably right up in here. Well, if I actually place it sideways, like this, I can be able to fit one of my P90s in here. But our first build is going to happen probably January, February, maybe March. Uh, well, the first build beyond the giveaway guitar. This one's going to happen. This one will have a P90 in it, so we'll probably face it like this. So that way we're not ruining the Ford. And the P90 will go right there. Go Silk Bar P90. Alright, what else we got in here? We've got a few license plates. Go Pennsylvania. Massachusetts. If you get the joke, you get the joke. Another Pennsylvania. Ah, good old Maine. That was nice. Very old ones. Alright, so let me get this box out of the way here. Okay. Put all that stuff away here in a little bit. Alright. Get the totes out of the way. Usually the totes are sitting right where you guys are sitting. But we did a lot of work here on the catch-all room. If you guys didn't notice in the last video. It's not as chaotic as what it used to be. We got a lot of stuff in totes. And you can actually see the guitar racks. That's the Sixer. That's the first one I built 2.5 years ago. And then that one's, oops, Sixer right there. And then this one's the Niner rack. You can see the good old telly in the background. Excuse me, that was the wrong hole. So I've got a few different ideas floating. But the first guitar that I wrote, I want to start with, I'll do it live, or do live build segments with you guys, is the giveaway guitar. So, that giveaway guitar is right here. If you guys remember the last few videos, this is a 1950 shovel. So this thing's bare. I still got to wood stain the name on here. We got to, we'll sand it down a little bit, then wood burn the name on here, and then choose my stain, whether I want to use my honey or gun stock. Probably the gun stock to match with, you know, how this thing's all rusted. But this thing's going to be made into a killer guitar. Go back to the last few videos and you'll see my ideas about what I want to do for this thing. We've got a lot of work to make this thing look like a guitar. And another thing is, if you want to win this guitar after it is built, all you gotta do is either this video or go back 2 to 3 videos ago, see the video about this. All you have to do is tell me who you would want this to be for, why you think it would fit you or your family, you know, your son, your daughter, yourself, your, you know, wife, girlfriend, grandson, granddaughter, whoever you think who would love this guitar, and give us the best story, and the best story that captivates our hearts and our minds. The first place prize is going to be this shovel guitar. I haven't thought of a name yet. My buddy Alex gave it to me, so he kind of worked on it, threw it away, and then, of course, watches all my videos and heard about me doing that. I wanted to do a giveaway guitar. He's like, "Hey man, how about I send you a guitar that I halfway built? Then you could build it the rest of the way on how you want to do it." So Alex signed it right here. And I'm going to sign it on the other side once it's done and built. I only sign my builds after I build them all. But it's the AHG giveaway guitar. They put Alex Guitars and then put his name. So it's ALXGTRS. Alex is only on Facebook. Alex doesn't have a YouTube, doesn't have Instagram, all that kind of stuff like I do. So his only page is ALXGTRS on Facebook, or Alex Lechner is his Facebook page, but he did a Facebook page finally for Alex Guitars. Nickname Frankenstein Guitars. It's a really good joke, actually. So, it was like 2 years ago. Alex was showing me some of his builds before he built me some, which they're in my collection. I've got one over here. The other one's over here. Yeah, only those two. Um, and I said, man, they look like they're Frankenstein guitars. You know, Frankenstein's monster. How Frankenstein was put together. Uh, and he kind of ran with the name, and now his logo is Frankenstein dude. So, uh, yeah, I kind of helped him. Just it's kind of an inside joke, and he just ran with it. So it was kind of cool. Um, but yeah. So what you can do is either in this video or go back 2 or 3 videos ago and look for the shovel guitar announcement, or the actual one where we open this thing live in the moment, and well, not live in the moment, I pre-recorded it. Um, but this one, as a big thank you to you guys, like I said, this year has been a whirlwind. I haven't built a single guitar because of my accident. It's been a long time to learn how to walk and talk and just everything again. I'm hoping to get this one done here before the year's out, but we're almost we're almost there. Um, and and we'll see. I've still got health stuff going on. I've got my hand tremor still going on. That's just nerve damage with the nerve being on my neck. And I can't bend over for long periods of time. So I gotta find out, like, I can't just run and jump like I used to. I'm gonna have to work myself back up again. Um, but either way, we're gonna start with this one. I'll probably start on the other builds I want to do just to start on them and walk over that since I'm live with you guys. But this shovel guitar, you can win it. Once it's done, it's got a killer pickup going in it. You guys have seen the video. Um, and then, so yeah, we're going to do this one live in the moment for you guys. This awesome shovel guitar. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be unique. It's going to be fun. I always wanted to build one of these. So it's definitely going to be one of the things that'll be awesome. I just want to make sure I'm getting everybody's comments in here. Um, so yeah, guys, I'm sorry to start off all sappy and stuff, but I really wanted to address you guys. Like I said, in case if you weren't my Facebook friend, Braden 60 Salvage, or if you weren't on my Instagram, American Heritage Guitar 79 on Instagram, or TikTok or something like that, if you guys weren't my friends on anything personal, I just want to make sure that you guys knew about Charger, and that hopefully nobody would ever ask me again when's the next video is going to be in, because I would lose it again. So, but yeah, the shovel guitar will be the first one we're going to start with, guys. This thing's going to be killer. Look at the other videos about the pickup and all that. That stuff is downstairs on the workstation, aka the kitchen, where I build all my guitars. So that's down there for all this. So we'll get to it another time. But if you want to win this shovel, it's going to be a killer slider guitar. It's going to have a hot pickup in it. Custom pickup by my buddy Marty Taubert, who does wonderful pickups for actually CB Giddy. If you don't know CB Giddy, oh, get my gray hairs in there. Whew! If you don't know CB Giddy, his stuff's on there. It's the Wicked Bucker, is what it's known as. So Marty builds those in stages, sends them out to CB Giddy. So you're actually buying one of Marty's pickups that he always signs on the back. And they're absolutely incredible. What he did special for me versus what you actually buy from CB Giddy is it's extra wound, which means it's going to have a bark, a bite, a growl. So one of those are going to go on here. And the first hubcap guitar, I promised him the first hubcap guitar that I build, one of those are going on there. I did a video a while back showing he built me 2 of them. He built me a gold cover and he built a nickel cover, like a penny. So I told him one of those I'll choose to go on the first build. So the Buick hubcap is going to get built. The Buick hubcap is buried down here in the corner on my toolbox. Right over there, you can see the Edelbrock air cleaner. It's on that. And actually, we'll I guess I'll describe to you guys here. All right, let me get this guy put back here. So we get this dude pulled back. Now we're rocking and rolling. I don't know why it stopped again. Probably because I'm twisting the camera and I've got you guys long ways here. All right, we're cool. um, so that stuff over there, I don't know if I mentioned in the last video. Somebody said it was free, and somebody made it like your old Foot Locker slash ammunition case, and it's out of complete walnut, and it's absolutely gorgeous. We went and picked that up off of somebody's curb, and that thing is going to be the next guitar box. I can actually do two guitars stacked on top of each other, I think, if I go with the small one. So I got to rebuild the inside of that. That's something else to do. I've got down here. I've got a little tote thing that we found at. It's an old like an old milk crate slash soda crate that we found at uh, not Hobby Lobby. I love Hobby Lobby though. At uh, Dollar General. $1.25 tree. Never mind, not Dollar General. $1.25 tree. Uh, and so that thing's gonna get all done up and be the travel rig, because you guys have seen the guitar, the sixer rack or the niner rack. They're heavy, and believe me, it's entertainment trying to getting those in and out this door when I built them. You had to like drop the front end first, and then like twist it this way, then twist it this way, and then twist it up. Yeah, it's fun and entertaining. Um, Make sure that we're still going here. All right, cool. uh, so I'll bring this stuff down so it doesn't affect anything. But yeah, definitely that Buick hubcap. That's gonna be one of Marty's builds, but this one's definitely gonna be um, having a P90 in it. Maybe we might even do an F hole. I don't know, a miniature F hole, because this thing plus one of the. So I don't know. But definitely the Buick I want to get done. We'll talk about this one again. So actually, now this is a small town. Clinton, Illinois is a very small town. There's no more Padron boxes. None. No more Padron boxes at all. Either somebody bought them all, or they threw them out to start over. I don't know which one. But we're gonna take this Padron. I'm gonna sand it down a little bit, and then the outside edges are going to be darker and the inside's going to be lighter. So I'm going to do my own tobacco burst stain, my gun stock, and then my honey stain. So my gun stock on the outside is darker, and then honey stain will meet right here in the middle. Then what I'm going to do is, that's the hardest part. The only way you'll know it's Padron is by the back. But this Padron, so I'm going to put one of these in the center. Obviously this isn't the back, right? Well, about right there is the center. And then I'm going to take my bottle opener, poke two holes on each side, and then to make it look like the oil cans. Depending on your age bracket, when you grew up, is when you went to your grandma's car, your dad's car, whatever. And then once you had a hot rod, when you went to go fill up your gas and you wanted to get oil, they all came in these steel cans, like a beer can. And you'd have to poke holes in them or drive a knife in them so you can get the oil out to change your oil or put oil in your car. That's what I want to make this look like. And it's the smallest one I've got. I want to do it that way, but I might switch up because I do want an F hole. And really, how this box is so tiny that I don't think I can get my F hole in there the correct way without making this look good. But it is going to be a P90 in the neck position. But if I don't do it with one of these, because this is the only smallest one I have. Everything's bigger with these, man. So, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, definitely. So, that's what this one's gonna be is a tobacco burst, Uh, but since Charger's passing, I'm gonna do a box for him. But I think, I might take some of his ashes, mix it, and then put him into one of my guitars because it is going to be called Charger. So this might be the one. I'm not sure yet. I don't have too many more boxes under here. It's in my pirate treasure tote thing, I call it. It's old. My family gave it to me. And literally it looks like a big old pirate treasure case. It's underneath everything over here. And that's filled with cigar boxes, but I don't have anything I can actually sand down and make nice. So this is the closest one. So if any of you guys are close to Illinois or whatnot, and you have more Padron boxes, maybe the bigger, wider ones, please let me know. I'm always on the hunt for those. Always on the hunt for vintage license plates, as you guys have seen. Get this stuff back in here. Ah! My guitars are falling over. Vintage license plates or vintage boxes from 1930, 1940. Because most of the guitars I do build, I do want to sell guitars. There's all of these half of these are for sale on the other rack over here, the Niner rack that I built. Most of them aren't for sale. The only ones that aren't are the washboards. But if you do have 1920s, 1930s washboards, please get a hold of me. Like I said, if you're not my friend on Facebook, Braden66 Salvage, that was after my automotive shop that we closed the doors on. So that was the only way I could create something back in the day. It was putting that in there so people knew it was like, oh, that's 66 Salvage Restoration Speed Shop. But yeah, that, and then so the shovel giveaway guitar, if you want to be a part of that, and win it, go check out the videos and stuff if you popped in here late during this, but I'll put it up later on. Another thing I want to do is, my wife got me this guitar a few years back, right? And it's one of those El Cheapos, it's a Davison, but this body is just like the Kramer. I either wanted to get a Kramer, the hockey stick, or I just wanted to get a Strat neck and build my own Frankenstrat. Not EVH Frankenstrat. I'm not one of them weird guys that's like, oh, I gotta have it. But it has to have it has to have a trim on it. This thing has to do my 80s. My 80s hair metal, man. My hair's gone a long time ago. I ain't got that no more. And I definitely ain't got the looks. But I want to make a true, real 80s inspired. This body's the perfect body because it literally looks like the old, what do they call them again? The Beretta? Or something like that. The old ones back in the day. So that guitar is going to get a makeover. Another thing that we're going to do, guys, I'll make sure I'm getting all your comments in here, man. Not trying to be rude. Another thing that we're going to do is I'm going to do a new segment probably after Christmas because it's still cold as shit. Is I'm going to do Coffee Talk. Coffee and a Talk with AHG. And if you know that one, dude, we could definitely be friends because it's Coffee and a Talk. Coffee Talk. We can be friends. That was when that kind of stuff back in the day was like king. And it's Pete Sweaty Balls Season 2, if you know that one. So, the giveaway guitar will build live. I want to do a lot of live stuff versus pre-recorded because I want to interact with you guys. I want to show you guys that when I build these instruments, especially building some of them right, you would think that maybe, it would take me like 2 or 3 days. Some of these guitars I built actually have taken me anywhere from a month to a month and a half because I want to get my back angle right. You don't have to add a back angle, really, but if everything's like too flat, your strings don't have enough raise, especially when you're going past the headstock. So that's why back angles are good. Gibson is like the first company, if we talk about the big three when they first started. Gibson is the only company that did a back angle at first. Fender didn't do a back angle, but now, like Charvel, for example, the name and the guitars that are built by Fender. Charvel, Jackson, Gretsch now, they're all, the names and the guitars are actually from Fender now. Fender owns the rights. Fender builds all the guitars nowadays. Fender's bought out a lot of companies. Probably most of you guys didn't realize that. It's kind of one of them nerd things. But I've got two. I've got because I ran out of wood and I can't find my one by two by threes, and I don't have a table saw. I need to get a table saw one day. So CB Giddy sells neck blanks. You can get the hockey. You can get the paddles, meaning that they're wider and looking like an oar paddle, or you can get the ones like this. I want to build a fancy headstock one of these days. Uh, one of these days. So I got two neck blanks to help get me started because I only have one neck blank out of all of my wood that I've had the last 3 years. I'm out. So just to help me get started and back into things since the accident. I'm not trying to like full tilt this just yet. Um, and like I'm telling people, so this one is Happy Days. You guys don't remember. This is literally made out of a porch spindle, or you can make these for table legs. It's literally one of the two you can use these for. I did put a slight back angle on it, you can tell right there. This thing's a nice little slider. Got a nice little pick for the headstock adornment there. It's clear coated. I mean, if you want to take it off there, yeah, good luck. It'll take you forever. But this is an actual real 45. And this one is Hound Dog. This is A side. So I saved it, and it wasn't going to be played again. It was cracked right up here, but you can never see it because I redid it. And then I just used my Mod Podge gloss to put over it to protect it, since they're Bakelite. It's what all of these old ones were made out of, not the ones nowadays you can buy as repops. But the real ones were all made out of Bakelite, which is something they used in World War II, and if they're not stored right, they can just crumble right out of your hands. But this is a legit Hound Dog. And of course, Happy Days. Happy Days is two things to me. Happy Days to me, with this guitar, actually meant, happier days with my family. I grew up with music. I grew up with the stuff from the 1920s all the way up to the 1950s, 60s and 70s. If you're into the 70s, baby. But man, I'll tell you what, dude. It's not just the TV show. Happy Days was like one of the best damn TV shows that was on, like besides Golden Girls and of course Dukes of Hazzard. But Happy Days was like one of my favorite. I mean, come on, the Fonz, hey. So that's what this one meant to me, was just the love of music with my family. The only two instruments I've never been able to master or get down is a fiddle. I've always wanted to play a fiddle. I grew up playing drums. I grew up playing bass. You can see my P bass right back there. Well, actually, that's a fun one. It's called the Geezer bass. I guess I can explain that one to you too. So Happy Days is absolutely incredible. This one was 2024. This was number 23. And then I even signed my Herbie Hancock right there in the corner. So that is all wood. That is all wood burnt by me, taking my time. So this is a nice, awesome slider. It's got a single coil, and I love the cover on it is that, like that fake gold, but it looks like that foil. I love this one. This one is so fun to play as a slider. I think I'm going to put thicker strings on it. If somebody wants to buy this, I'll redo the strings and put thicker strings on it. It was just your G string, your GE. I think it was GEB, I think. I didn't write it on here. I write it on most of my guitars of what the strings are, so you can tune them. But open tuning, EBE, GDG are the two best tunings to use for cigar boxes. So this one's something you can have for $275. And then, this is Confederate Railroad. This is another one I enjoyed right here. This is Confederate Railroad. This one right here is awesome. I think this one was my 22-inch scale, I think, or 23-inch, I can't remember. This was out of a pallet leg. So one of the pallet legs were broken that when I built the sixer rack over here. One of the pallet legs was broke, so I took it home. I hand whittled this, hand carved this. This is the honey stain. I did it twice to make it darker instead of a lighter. But you can see that gorgeous right here. You see that gorgeous split. This is like perfectly split. And I love how, and that's why I did darker on this side, lighter on this side, so you can actually see that. But my back angle was too steep on this one, so I had to add a nail to keep the strings up on this one. But this one was fun. So you got a broken railroad spike. I found that one, and then you've got drains like you would use for your sink drains, and then your bathroom drain, like for your tub. And then this one is acoustic and electric. I can change the strings on here because this is the plain string. But it has more of a banjo tone to it. That needs to be tuned again. And it's got a piezo in it. And of course you gotta have your shotgun shell. That is genuine. That has been fired, cut down, and poof, your volume knob. The only thing that sucks about that, hopefully the piezo never goes out. Because this thing ain't coming off. I glued it instead of popping off. Whatever. So this one was fun. You can see your jack right there. So this one was fun. This is CSA Railroad. I enjoyed that. ASG's in the neck. I put CSA up here. And then the Railroad right there. Since this one has a felt back, I wasn't able to wood burn like I normally do. So all my guitars have names. All my guitars, I make up a backstory for them. It's just that extra special, taste. This one is not for sale. This one is going to my buddy Alex. But this is Hillbilly Deluxe. This one was so much fun. It literally sounds like a banjo when you start going and playing because of the paint lid. I love this one. This one was which box was it again? The Arturo Fuente box. And then I literally hand whittled this with my knife. I literally took this thing and went. And I even broke my knife doing it. But this one was so much fun. I did like a Gibson headstock on it. Gibson inspired angled headstock on it. This is a Honey Stain. This one was so much fun. It's an acoustic only, but believe me, I've got all my picks in their case. But this thing really... Oh boy. That's a loud tune. Been sitting for a while. That came through. I'm not using my boom mic. So Hillbilly Deluxe, it's going to a best friend. He bought this one. And then, of course, this one's one of my favorites. And this is an Abo box, just like the one that you guys seen earlier that Alex just sent me. That Abo box is a different color than this Abo box. But these are great. I did have a spring in here. No, I still do have the spring in here. I thought I took it out. But this one is called Southern Co. This is my old race number. My race number is 66SR. But actually the real one, this is the beige or whatever. But the one I had, it looked like gold leaf. But it was gold. But somebody just did another rendition for me. So I used some of my old decals that I still have in my old race number. But this one's Southern Co. Southern Heritage, because I'm proud. And I live in a Yankee state. I know. Ironic. But Southern Heritage, but it's Southern Co. because I'm a huge fan of David Allan Coe. David Allan Coe was absolutely an incredible guy. He was an incredible picker. And this is my Honey Stain. There you go. This is my Honey Stain. This is 25, actually this one's 25 5-inch. And then pentatonic. Because the string, let me get that reset. And then this is a CB Giddy, Delta 4-pole. But this box is happening, you can hear the spring in there. Just that extra reverb. And this is a Lucky Lady. This is the last one off of my truck. So this Lucky Lady and my other one that's on legs was on the back of the window. So one was facing this way, one was facing this way. It was one of the Lucky Ladies. So this one is an absolute awesome little growler. You got a volume and tone knob. This one is so much fun, especially with that spring in there. This thing's absolutely, it's fun. I put a bigger heel on it because most of my heels they go about like right here. I don't know. It's got that look. And then if you really want to set your finger on it and set your palm on it, this one was just so much fun. So that one is Southern Co. I love this one. And then right here on the headstock, if you can't see it, this I try to always do every build except for two. I always try to do like a headstock adornment. And I saved this one. This one is what it says is the 39th annual 2019 Arby's Southern National Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're an NHRA fan, you know exactly what this means, and that's party time. So it's just also about my racing roots. And then you got hooks here, eye hooks. You can easily crimp these over. I might do that, crimp these over, and you can make your own strap. But this guitar is fun. This guitar right here, you can get this for $285. I originally had this up for sale for actually almost $400, but the lowest guitars I build are about $175, and that is the piezo ones. But if we're talking about going with a Soap Bar P90 or going up and up and up, those are usually when it gets expensive because my wood's expensive. I'm not trying to make the whole thing back about all the money I'm putting into them, but they're just fun. They're unique. I love this one. It was a fun build. Alright, I guess we can talk about the bass. Let me get this back in here. Okay. Let's talk about this monster. So you're thinking to yourself, you're like, wait a minute. That's a jazz bass. You're correct. But then you're like, wait a minute, that's got a P bass neck. You're also correct. If you don't know the history of good old Geezy Butler, the story went that Geezy, I love this one because this tobacco burst is just absolutely phenomenal. But Geezy one time broke a guitar, and his buddy took a jazz bass body, routed out the pocket of the neck, which is what was done on this, routed out the pocket of the neck, which almost gives it a little bit of a back angle. And just put a P bass on there. So that's why this one is called the Geezy bass for good old Geezy Butler. Man, that man could slap a bass, I'll tell you what. I enjoyed watching Geezy. Oops. I enjoyed seeing Geezy live quite a few times. Okay. Stay. And of course, yeah, you guys remember Legs. Legs is another one of my favorites. That's just to rest. That's to rest on the belly. But I love Legs, man. If anybody's got more washboards out there, dude, let me know because I would love to build some for people. Somebody's like, would you get rid of this? I love these so much. This one and the Diddley Bow Bill. I love these so much that it's almost $600. That's how much I love this. And I did, you know, halfway fretted. And of course the rest of the slider because that's one of the porch spindles. I got more over in the corner. Speaking of porch spindle, I think another thing I'm going to try to do is take some of my porch spindles over here. I've got a coffee pot. Oh! Alright, let me carefully put this back here. I've got this coffee pot here that we go camping with. And I'm thinking of using this, using one of my porch spindles, and it's going to be called Cup of Joe. I'm going to make a diddley bow. Piezo disc, but we're going to do it electric and make a diddley bow out of this. Copy. Yeah, so I'm going to do something wild and crazy. And why not? I could still use this and clean it up, you know, to make coffee over a fire, but I don't go camping that much anymore. Especially here in Illinois, I don't do that. So I think what we'll do is I'm trying to get this guitar out safely without knocking around a bunch of other guitars. Is I'm gonna take this one that was built by my buddy Jesse. Uh, and this one's just called Angus. Well, because SG body style. But I'm gonna take this one by my buddy Jesse. We're gonna change the strings on this. We're gonna put heavier, thicker strings on this, and I'm gonna try to make this thing bark a little better. So, and I made sure when I did this, it's almost the equivalent of a back angle, even though this is a hardtail. Well, you can see that through my damn phone. You can see it right there. But these strings definitely need to be changed. And so, first Coffee Talk episode, we're going to talk and have a coffee talk. And we're going to change these strings and maybe hook up the old orange amp. And I'm going to see if I can't make this thing sound a little better. These strings need to be changed. They're old strings. I think this guitar right here is like 4 or 5 years old. I think by now. So, yeah, it needs a little bit of TLC. I'm thinking about putting my AC/DC sticker on here. Just cause. So it's a little bit au naturel. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh, just go in the rack. Oh boy. Okay. Alright. Stay. But yeah, guys, so that's some of my thoughts. I'll get more of my I've got it buried over there. I'll get the Buick out. We'll mock up the Buick so you guys can actually see what I'm thinking for that. Get this Ford hubcap a little cleaned up. Give it a nice little bit of cleaning TLC. And we'll get this one mocked up. So beyond the giveaway guitar, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3 builds so far for 2026. I gotta beat my record of let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta beat my record of 7 in 1 year. I don't think I'm gonna do it for 2026, but yeah. In a nutshell. That's the good old Telly over there. We'll probably get the Telly out and jam. That was the first time I've actually seen me guys trying to. I have not picked up a guitar since my accident since February. My accident was in March. That was the last. February was the last time I picked up an instrument and played. So it's been quite a hot minute. But I want to get back to playing again. I want to get back to building again. But like I said, we're gonna have to just, take it slow and all that, guys. But I think that'll do it for what I want to talk about for now. I think. Oh, I've got some more 45s down here in the corner that I want to do some, either a pick cover or something with. There's Motown down there. I can't remember what else is down there. I'd have to look through them all. But they're not playable. they're all cracked. So that's why I use them for guitars. But I want to make a pick guard. And I gotta get in. I want to get in a Les Paul. One of the pick guards. I got to try to find something because I want to take the bigger 45s and cut them up to make them look like a Les Paul. Because I want to build. I've always wanted a Gretsch. Okay, I've always wanted a Gretsch. I've always wanted a Fender Thin Line. So I'm trying to combine my worlds into cigar box of the actual guitar. So F holes, P90s. Because I've always wanted a gold top Les Paul with P90s. I've always wanted it. Well, actually, you guys, my guitar here, I used to own my Les Paul there and then my Flying V. But I've always wanted to own a gold top with P90s. So, this kind of stuff I'm trying to do is, take the big guitars since I can't buy them. I played them throughout my lifetime and know what they look like, what they sound like. So I'm trying to put that into the CBG, Cigar Box Guitar World, or folk art instruments, as some people like to say. But trying to design something that, I can pick up and, play that 50s rock, play that 60s, 70s rock. Play some good Zeppelin or uh, Black Sabbath, Zeppelin and Sabbath are like king. If you know, you know. um, but just like have that look, but have that tone. And I mean, you can't go wrong with slapping on your overdrive pedal, or your analog delay, or your phaser, and definitely a crybaby wah. I'm staring down there, right down there. And just having a blast. So I'm trying to create something that like can be that ultimate instrument, like that SG sitting right there. I want to pull that out and like be able to play some. Sorry, I'm getting some messages. But I want to be able to play, like the SG. Look at the SG. You want to pick it up and you want to play some ACDC, or you want to play some Sabbath, or Zeppelin, or you want to play. Definitely, I play some like good old Winger, um, or some Poison, Ellie Gun, Spirehouse. That's like the guitar you look at and it makes you want to play that. You know what I mean? So I want to create that guitar that was built by my buddy. I have a few of my buddy's guitars in here. Alex is in here, um, and my buddy Jesse from Hummingbird Guitars. Those are the only two guys I have in my rack. But I love their work. They're good friends of mine, and I want to show their work. I got another one of Jesse's over here with a or headstock on it. This is an actual 1930s, an actual real vintage 1930s Van Dyke box. And you can see how much I played it already because I'm already starting to wear out the back on it. And I think this one, what were they again? Oh man, I think it was like 10 cents. And I've worn it off from holding it here and on my belt buckle from playing. But I love this one because it's got the hardtail on it. And then, of course, you have a single coil. Just like good old Strat. But this one is kind of fun. So, yeah, it looks like because you could do anything you want with this. If you do headstocks like this, the paddleboard, the looking like an oar headstock, a paddle headstock, Um, but this one was awesome. Jesse put this one together for me, and I really like it. It's cool. An original 1930s Van Dyke box. So I'm all about 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s cigar boxes. If you got them, let me know. Get a hold of me, Braden Six and Salvage on Facebook or Instagram, American Heritage Car 79. But this one's also fun to play. I got an axe here in the corner, and I'm thinking about doing. I have another axe handle over here, but that axe handle is broken. But I'm thinking about doing a crazy guitar. I don't know, because I can't just go cutting down trees anymore without permits and shit. So I think I might just take that one. It's called Paul Bunyan because it literally looks like a. Literally, it's the old school one. Let me try to get it out of this corner without hitting everything. Yeah, it's broken. So I'm thinking about making a crazy guitar out of this. Obviously this is your headstock area. But I'm thinking about making a crazy, diddly bow or three stringer out of this. Because like I said, you can't just go cutting down trees anymore. Because you gotta have permits for shit. A bunch of whiny crybaby sissies. So I might as well put this thing to use. And, I don't know, make a cool guitar out of it. It's gonna be heavy as shit. Because this is some old steel here. I can't see the numbers on it. I'll have to clean it up. I can barely see them. I'll have to get a flashlight. But this is cast iron, man. These things they're heavy. I mean, I think it'd be cool as a guitar, wouldn't you? I'm just trying to make sure I got all your comments, man. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. My brain's trying to think of a lot of different cool shit to do. Uh, yeah. So, a couple automotive inspired. I've got enough. I got a Buick one right down here. Got the big giant honker. So, I don't know, man. I just got a bunch of stuff to think of and, try to do. And, I don't know. Like I said, get the old telly out again. The old telly is right there in the corner. Right there. And I call it Andre the Telly. With good old Waylon Jennings. So, I got a bunch of different stuff I want to do and try and stuff for the new year, guys. But I mean, if you want to win that cool shovel guitar, I think it's going to be cool to do. I think the name I'm going to go for is Cannonball. I think that's what we're gonna call it. It's gonna be Cannonball. I don't know. Maybe. I want to give it a train name, but most people don't like trains, so I'm kind of like back and forth on what name it's gonna be. So I don't know. Get there when we get there, I guess. But it's been awesome, being on with you guys. Shit, it's almost been a fucking hour. Holy shit. But yeah, so things I'm thinking. And like I said, just thank all of you guys for your loving prayers and, Charter's last ride. So thank you guys for loving him over these 2.5 years of being on here. Like I said, you'll see Dinah and Mopar occasionally, but they're not like Charter. Charter just always up my business and wanted to be with me and, be in the camera. So, um, just thanks, guys. Thank you for all your love, all your support. Like I said, it's gonna be different going forward without Charger Man. But I'll figure it out. I just gotta keep healing, and we got him home. That's part of the healing process. But now I want to build a guitar for him. So if anybody has any 1968 through 1973 Charger emblems, please. I want one for his urn and one we're gonna build a guitar, and the guitar is just gonna be Charger. Yeah. But everybody just have a good rest of your Friday here, and a good weekend, and we'll be back here with you guys soon. And just try to have some fun. I got something coming up Monday. Having somebody come interview me about the guitars and future plans. So we're gonna get those people involved and just have a good interview and maybe wrangle them in, maybe let them take one of these things home. I'm kidding, not take one home, but Miguel said her husband's really excited to see some of these, so I don't know, maybe someone home with somebody, give me some more room, because I'm all out of room. The sixer rack is full, the niner rack's full. I've got a little thing down here I'm going to build into a travel rig that holds 4 guitars, just a tiny little tote thing. I got a wood burn AHG into it, get it stained, and do my sides on the top so they can hold the guitars, but it's only going to be 4 guitars, I think. Because these can't be travel rigs, unfortunately. It would be cool if they were travel rigs. But they're just so heavy. That one's 50 pounds, and that one's that one's not that heavy. The niner rack's only like 22 pounds, 23 pounds, I think. But the sixer rack's 50 pounds. It's a lot of wood. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, guys, I think. I don't think I missed anything, I don't know. So, yeah. That'll do it for now, I think, guys. But I love you all. Just thank you so much for loving the support. And, I might take my Edelbrock air cleaner over there, too, and make a guitar. I don't know. I'm thinking a bunch of different stuff. But the Buick guitar is going to be first. The Buick hubcap's over there in the corner. I can't go grab it right now. But I just love you guys. Just thank you all so much for loving support. And, we'll catch you guys on the flip side, the dark side of the moon here. And yes, this is my actual railroad mall. I found this. This is brand new. I found this where the roundhouse used to be here. I found it in the ground. And then I just aged the handle and put Illinois Central Railroad on it. And of course the railroad's right up there. Right there too. So, I haven't used this thing in over a year. It used to be fun to just go beat the spikes back in, Keeps you strong. Keeps your Popeye strong, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to reel and deal and, just trying to get through my loss of my buddy. And, yeah, guys. I just love y'all. Just thank you so much for loving support, guys, and just have a good rest of your weekend. And yeah, just thank you so much for loving Charger. You know, help get me amped up for all these builds, and let's just have some fun together. And before I go here, we're already over an hour. Holy shit. But before I go here, I also want to do a diddly bow for a husband and wife, or if you're single, a single dad, or single mom. But do a diddly bow video of where you can build a diddly bow that I'm building. You can do this at home, with your kids, so you guys can have some fun and play some music on a one-string instrument. So you can have a diddly bow of your own. Not this one, but you can have a diddly bow of your own. This is. I love this one. This is Graham's Warsher. Graham's Warsher, aka Southern Heritage. I love this diddly bow. This thing's awesome. I love it. So, but yeah, build a diddly bow and have some fun. I don't know. Just try to do a bunch of stuff together, and just trying to start. Trying to make 2026 be a good year. Be a good build year. Be a good music year. I've got songs I've been working on. Now that I'm twice as better, just, going through the motions, guys. Going through the motions. But yeah, I love you guys. Just everybody stay safe. Everybody enjoy yourself. We'll catch you on the flip side and the dark side of the moon back here very, very soon, guys. I just love you all so much. I can never say that enough. So just thank you guys so much. I love y'all.